you gotta get up and get going. You gotta make moves. You gotta do things and grind. You're like, yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And you keep swiping, and you're
like, that's what tomorrow is for.
You gotta train every day if you want to be good at everything. You gotta practice every day. I'm like, yep, I agree with that. Like, wholeheartedly, comment, awesome brother, fire, prayer emoji, dude. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Martial Mind Podcast. I'm Ed, I'm here with Ryan and John. We're three training brothers of Shaolin Kung Fu here to talk about how martial arts shapes our view of the world.
We haven't done a name intro in a while. I actually kind of like that. I like that we're back to the who we are and what we're about and who's the handsomest, and it's me.
Lies detected. I was enjoying the mystery though of just like, welcome to the Martial Mind Podcast. Now take a guess.
Well, it's not a mystery if they have eyes. So
this is the truth. Ryan's hair, it looks like it was constructed and placed on his head. I love it. It was built by a kid with some Legos.
Ryan spent an hour making his hair look elegantly disheveled.
Ooh,
dude, a good messy bun is hard to make.
It's a neat mess.
Yeah, I mean, making a messy bun is
I forget
art
we're
form.
rolling when I do stupid things like this. Like,
yeah, you just like touch me.
He's not really handsome. He's got to get a little thing.
Dude, dude,
like
he just keeps touching me.
This.
Ed, you got to remember, most of your life is being documented now. You're always on camera.
Especially the Twitch GoPro that me and John have in your bedroom and bathroom.
Hey, it was an awkward question asking the guy at Home Depot what cameras are best for the bathroom.
Which ones are good to put behind a mirror? He's just like, what?
Wait, what?
I need one that fits in
I'm building an interrogation room in my...
Which...
It's like some Airbnb nightmare camera store.
Which camera can I paint the same color as my wall? It's like, what?
Does this one have a light on
those
it?
Places that like freaks me out. I think you never know what people are putting in their houses.
Yeah, dude, like, not good.
Yeah,
not a fan of Airbnbs.
Really scary.
I stayed in one that had cockroaches on the front porch, so that was cool.
On the front porch?
Yeah,
he was smoking. He was in like a rocking chair. He was just like, "What's up?"
Playing a banjo.
Yeah. Why do you have a shotgun?
No, it was in New Orleans, and
oh yeah, all right.
Yeah,
so
there was like it was like a screened in like kind of a mud room, and then was the rest of the Airbnb
it's just filled with mud.
Oh, and like we didn't notice them until like the third day, and like we opened the porch, and I'm like, that's a fucking cockroach. And he's like, my buddy Paul was like, don't step on them. They might have eggs in them. And then you drag them into the apartment and they're everywhere and carry them on the airplane. And I'm like, I'm not trying to bring a carry-on and roaches back to New York. No,
oh
thank
my
you.
God.
Yeah.
You just like, TSA's like, sure, you didn't check your 800 roaches you brought with you that are now all over the cabin.
Family of 1,200.
Oh
Thanks.
my God.
So one of the things we have, we have loaded up a,
what I'd like to call magic.
It's
magic.
Straight up sorcery.
So did you guys watch Toonami when you were growing up?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Tom was my boy. Okay.
Tom is
and
the
Tom,
shit.
too.
So, like, it was like a ritual. Like, you know, like you would watch Dragon Ball Z and then Gundam Wing.
That was it.
Dragon Ball Z and then Gundam Wing. And while I was watching Dragon Ball Z, I became obsessed with the idea of, like, can I really Kame-hame-ha?
Dude.
Can I actually?
Yes.
Could I Kame-hame-ha?
Can I force push?
Like, yeah, like, but I would, like, do little work. It's amazing that I ever got fat in my early 20s because I would, as a teenager, like, do little workouts while Goku was working out, like, during his little training
You were just, like, burning calories thinking you were a cartoon.
And
literally,
then eat
I would
5
have, like,
bowls
little
of
weights
cereal.
and I would do little punches. Yeah, and literally, though, and then, like, eat 5 bowls of cereal.
2 cubic pounds of Fruit Loops.
I eat an entire box of Captain Crunch right
The
now.
chi
I
is
wanna
in the Crunch
eviscerate
Berries.
the roof of my mouth.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and sit there like this and, like, try to make chi balls and stuff. Like, I'll make an energy sword. But that being said, we have discovered some gentlemen who
actually can do that.
they can Kame-hame-ha.
Yeah.
They grew up and they do it.
And listen.
Cut to the video.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And based off of the shorts, this is definitely from 2006.
Hey,
Yeah, these guys. They're quivering. He's convulsing. That's 100% real. I mean, like,
I believe it. I don't know about you, but I believe it.
somebody call this man an ambulance.
Oh.
That's
And,
real.
and all that convulsing and no brain damage.
Yeah,
you know?
surprising, right?
Dude, I think I'm getting brain damage.
I wonder what's going on here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, holy crap.
She didn't train hard enough.
She didn't put too much ka in the Kame-hame-ha. Hey, we got to see
Oh,
that
wait,
one more
now
time.
wait. Why is he... What?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who cheated him?
This is just... this makes me upset.
Oh
going
my
on here?
God. What?
What is this?
I was like, yeah, let me just strum your back like a guitar string. Oh, yeah.
Anyone who touches me also gets high blood pressure. I pass it on. I have now given you my hypertension.
His blood pressure is so high it pushes other people away.
His blood pressure becomes
My
room
vascular
pressure.
I push you in my vascular pressure.
Now you're really sweaty. Let's see what this guy.
I love the own video has to. Yeah, they have to fast forward.
It's just not working on strangers at all. Come in, have a tryout.
He touches you for 10 minutes and he goes, "Now I just shat myself."
So let's make things. Oh yeah, I think let's make things clear.
Well, it doesn't work on strangers. Fucking no, bro.
Dude, you could tell like all these people like don't like they're like no one in this trifecta has asked a question before. You know what I mean?
The skeptic offers himself to put intention while pushing. It failed once. Just straight up jab him in the chin.
Yeah, we got.
Oh, this makes me like sad.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
God.
physically,
that guy's
feel-
career just ended.
yeah, it's over. I mean, like,
He's
as
losing.
someone-
Well, at the same time though, that means that, like he probably really believed it.
Oh.
yeah. I mean, as somebody who actually trained, like I did my variety of jiu-jitsu I trained when I was younger, included aspects of Aikido. Like, some of it is legit. Like, some of it represents China, you know? But, like, stuff like that, like when you're not even touching them, because it looked like Aikido, but I'm not sure exactly what it was. If you're not grabbing anyone, or if you're not actually putting any locks on somebody,
It also looked
nothing's
like
gonna
me-
happen.
It also looked like me when I was 12 with one of my friends on their trampoline. So, you know, like I'm gonna be the Wesawa, and then I'm gonna be the Samurai, and you'll be no. But I got a revive. I know you thought you killed me, but you didn't because I had the special bomb that I threw down when you thought you stabbed me, and no one ever dies. And
Oh my God,
we're
it's
just so sweaty and slowly getting annoyed.
It's
at
like
each-
that shitty kid that like makes up his own rules
Yes,
to rock,
yes.
paper, scissors while you're
that was
playing rock, paper,
partially
scissors.
me, I think, a
Yeah,
little
and
bit.
like, rock, paper, scissors says, you know, white magic.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
forgot about
God,
the
I'm
pelican.
God, and you just want to like.
Yeah,
And you're like, well,
mode.
Is your God saving you now?
I have black magic and black magic beats white magic. I have rainbow magic. Rainbow magic beats
Yep.
everything.
Yep. that was like when I didn't actually know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh, and me and my cousin, we literally just like my mom was just trying to have like a nice night, like sitting on the couch, like be like, oh, they'll play cards, they'll leave me the fuck alone, and like it was just us literally having we literally had the gall to have the two dueling mats out, and then we would just take out cards from the deck and just add up all the numbers.
I don't know what you mean.
Like we're
'cause I
just
never
playing like
played
brain
Yu-Gi-Oh.
damage Yu-Gi-Oh, just like we're battling with math. Like it's
You're
like
just
that's not-
counting.
Yeah, we're literally counting. Like, who has the higher number at the end? And I was angry about that.
Yeah, I got a jar
I'm
of
still angry
greed
about
and
that.
another jar of
He was
greed.
playing
and
Go
another
Fish
jar
with
of
Yu-Gi-Oh
greed.
cards.
Yeah, yep.
Rummy.
That's that
You
is
can't
wha-
get rummy. This is Magic the Gathering.
rummy. Rummy. What's happening? What game is this?
Dude, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh. That was actually a really fun game. I did enjoy it. Having the little mats and everything. That was cool.
Dude, I had a dual disc at one point.
You had the freaking
Oh,
the arm thing?
Yeah. Just like dual disc on this arm, like 10 to 12 bitches on this arm. You know what I mean, baby? You know?
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly how that
know
worked
what I'm
out. Just when they go into your room and see that you still have your dual disc, like
That's amazing. Yeah, I used to like
They wouldn't see it because I haven't got the wall mount for it yet, so they don't know where it is. It's not on my wall yet.
gotta frame that like right
Yeah.
next to like a hustler.
It's on its
photo. It's like no.
Dude, magazines like that. It's like people
Gross.
like, dude, that's just like weird. That's like gross guy. Like, hey, it's me, Richie. You got any nudie mags?
yeah. Well, at the same time,
Like it
like,
just comes with it. Like it's almost like when they have to to get a guy like that to read all of it. Like instead of a piece of bologna, you just put a cigarette on one of the pages. Like, where is it?
that's how
Where's
it
my
used to be. Though, could you
cigarette?
imagine having to go to a store and like walk behind some fucking
To get a-
beads and go buy a?
You have to go to or like you're
People
at
had to do that.
or like
for
you
a
have
while.
like you're the gross guy at like Hudson News at the airport, and you have to like go behind all the magazines. I want to get aroused at my terminal. It's like, dude, you're a fucking animal.
in the back
Just get
section.
Cinnabon and fall asleep.
Yeah,
Oh my
Jesus
God, you gotta
Christ.
take it back to his hotel room though, you know.
Oh,
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
has at the airport. And he's like, this is good. This is a good hotel.
That was pretty
Like,
good,
dude,
man.
Dude, it's in the airport. It's in the airport.
In the back rack, I got the crispy gas station bathroom porn. So here you go. Don't try to turn the pages.
Like it was shallow fried. Like
it's just crispy.
The
Don't ask
sleeve
why
it
it's
comes
crispy.
in has been opened and like it's been put back.
There's a yellow film just in it.
You just start to open it. You hear a tear. You're like, oh no.
You're tearing and screaming.
It just immediately gets syphilis as soon as you open it.
Oh my god.
Just anthrax.
You're reading. You're like, why are there these spots on my hands? That's crazy.
Well, somebody tore some pages out. That's a little weird. All right. Well, we covered airport pornography, so that's interesting. I'm cool with that.
Now that you know our opinions on airport porn, I think that's the important content that people are here looking for.
I mean, I have no problem with airport porn.
So we are in.
Let's move on.
We are in. We're blowing past that topic. We are in the end of the year. It is 2 days after Christmas at the time of recording, and we are all kind of gearing up and talking about, plans for the new year. John and I have decided that come January 1st, we'll be posting about this in the Discord. So if you're not a Discord member, join the Discord. You'll be first to hear about things like this.
Get your shit together.
We're gonna be tracking in the Discord our progress. We're gonna be doing a sober and weight loss challenge for January.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So we're gonna spend the month of January clean and pure in our systems and focusing on our training and trying to use the tools of Kung Fu and what we've learned to kind of make ourselves mentally
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mentally well.
Right.
Without certain dietary or intoxicant vices, that we would rely on to sleep or to have a good time,
I'm doing the opposite. I'm doing
Meth.
what's called, I'm in my own Discord channel for my own podcast. I'm doing the sclerosis solstice is what I'm going to be doing. So we're going to see how quickly my liver can go bad.
Ryan is going to eat all the calories that we cut.
Anything, instead of just putting it in the garbage, you just put it into my mouth.
We actually have a special harness for Ryan. He's going to be attached to the kitchen table, and as I'm not eating food, I'm going to drop it on the floor.
Like I'm like a, I'm like a vice. Like I'm just like...
He's going to be eating it off of the floor out of a dog bowl.
No, you just get a big papoose. You could be like a Peruvian baby, like on a llama's back.
I'm just on your chest. You just put it in.
I'm just holding like a Hungry Man hero. Just come on, little baby. Go ahead, eat it. It's all yours.
I'm just slowly eating it. You're just
shoving it in here. Here's the rest. Just take 2 fingers and just shove the rest of the bread in.
He's still got a soft spot up here. I wonder what that's about.
Keep hammering it.
You're just like a cat killing a fly. Like just. They don't even. But I love they don't even hit it hard. They just go. They just literally press on it until it passes away. They just go.
Oh my!
Until it just dies.
It's just death by suggestion. It's just like please.
My little drug addict cats. My parents bought the cats catnip toys for Christmas.
Perfect.
And they're like, like these little toy mouse, like toy mice that have
toy
mooses
mooses
that have little pockets. You put the catnip in, and Zoe is like losing her shit, like just like
it's like a pocket for
she's on ecstasy, just on the ground with the thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
She is in ecstasy.
Making the weirdest noises.
Yeah, they flip the fuck out.
Dude, flipping out.
They flip
it's
absolutely
unbelievable.
Out.
Just comes out doing a perfect Sean Connery impression. Your mother's a halt, Trebek. It's like, what is going on with my cat? What kind of catnip was that?
Give her a little slap.
A little slap. No, but I saw this thing recently where this girl made catnip tea for her cats. So that could be worth trying.
So that's like making dabs for your cat.
Yeah,
seriously.
seriously.
You just take boiling water and you put your catnip.
Just pour it on the
cat. Pour it on the cat. Yeah. No.
They go crazy.
You take like a wire mesh strainer with the catnip in it, and you pour the water through the catnip into a bowl. Let it cool. Add ice to it, and then you got catnip tea, and the kitties sip on it and freak the fuck out. And yeah.
Oh my god, it's like doing edibles with your cats.
Yeah, I mean these are childless women we're talking about here. These are women without children.
They have fur babies.
They got fur. Happy Mother's Day to me.
I'm a parent.
My fur
hey,
baby.
no, you not.
Nah. Yeah,
no, you ain't.
Hard no.
No, you ain't.
No, you ain't.
I mean,
I wish I could Kame-hame-ha like those guys from the video before.
It's not over it.
That would have been really cool.
It's not over it at all.
I wish I could do energy
Listen,
blast
listen. It makes you feel any better.
That was so real. That was so unbelievably real. The way he put that guy into a seizure, and the way that guy forgot to go into a seizure and then ran into the old woman and then went into it later.
I mean, it was the residual energy.
It was a residual seizure.
It got him later, and he's got no damage to his nervous system, no brain damage whatsoever. Even though he went,
it was like a
grand mal seizure, you know,
like a GoldenEye proximity mine, just just laid that down.
Listen, it makes you feel any better. I was totally a victim of
best menu music.
The
ever.
pause theme
GoldenEye.
slaps.
I didn't have a 64. I didn't play.
What's happening?
What are you're doing it. Why are you looking at me like I have the answers?
Dude, that's a classic game.
I was definitely a victim to marketing when I was younger because I saw a high C juice box commercial and I thought that they would help me run fast. So I drank it and then ran. I probably did like a 4.5 minute mile around the living room. I killed one of the cats probably and set the drapes on fire, but you know it was
just from running by them. Just they were.
My grandmother used to sit in a recliner, and I would get in trouble for doing laps around the living room because she'd be like, "You're making my feet cold." So I was running past her.
That's an odd thing to say to anyone.
Hey, you're making my feet cold.
If there's no cold water involved at all, like
you're just not doing that.
Yeah, you're
That's
not.
just not
poor circulation, you know.
No,
But
I feel
anyway,
bad.
so at this end of year time, we are focused. You know, we're thinking about and discussing the passage of time and going into the new year. And I was just watching. We talked about Cameron Haynes in another episode. And if you don't follow him on Instagram, definitely go follow Cameron Haynes because he's doing this thing where he's like, it's Christmas, and he was just watching a movie with his family, and it's getting later, and he's like, I'll be back in a little bit. He's like, I'm gonna go run to the mountain because it's cold and shitty out. And he's running. He's like, I'm out here running because nobody else is, and that's a good reason. And just always talking about putting the work in and like being a champion. And he was saying, he's like, why the hell are you gonna wait for next week? Why are you gonna wait for New Year's? Like that's a whole week of your life that you could be living clean.
I actually think it's way more. It actually probably you'll have a higher success rate of, let's say, sticking to your New Year's resolution if you start like a week or two early. Yeah, honestly, because it's like you're like, I'm gonna change everything tomorrow, and it's like, hey, dude, no, you're not. So you're gonna wake up at the same time you always do and be a piece of shit. Yeah, because that's me. Because that's me. Tis I. I am the piece of shit.
We're aware.
This prophecy has unfolded many times before.
We know.
But because I was even thinking that today. I was like, you know, because
you're a piece of shit.
Well,
Funny.
I think that I think that every day. So that's not a day. That's every day. Thank you.
Hourly.
That's
activity.
an hourly, minute by minute thought.
That's been a reoccurring theme for 28 years, and I'm not 28 yet.
I just go, this just in. Oh, I'm garbage again. Like it's like Thanksgiving Day parade. Oh, we're back. Hello.
Breaking news.
I'm garbage. But you know, because I was thinking about that today. Like, because I get caught up in that of like, like the OCD fresh start. I got to start on Monday. Got to start on the first of the month. If I start halfway through the month, then what's the point? It's like, what do you mean, what's the point? But just start. Why does it matter when you're starting? Just the starting is what's important. But you're, again, same thing like with meditation where you try to get locked in and then you get comfortable and your brain's like, oh, what's happening over here? Oh, you got an itch. There's an itch right here. You got to, your butt feels weird in the way you're sitting. You got to change it. And then it's just an hour of that. And you don't actually meditate because you're adjusting your ass cheeks for an hour on a meditation cushion and making everyone else uncomfortable. At the Barnes & Noble, you're meditating
move,
at.
You got to scratch. You
Exactly.
got to adjust. You got
Those
to change.
itches are real, bro.
They do. When you try to
meditation?
meditate, your subconscious coming conscious itches.
Yeah, your conscious mind like fighting you to
Just
stay in the
just
forefront.
licking your earlobe. Just
Yeah.
All of a
You're
sudden you just feel
meditating?
like a little whoop.
It's just like,
That's disgusting. What I just did.
That's so gross.
Yeah, yours was a lot less gross than what I just did.
yeah, yours is pretty
It's
disgusting.
already just
You're a dirty boy today.
You just fucking. You're a garbage bag, bro.
Yeah.
You're a garbage
filled
bag.
with bad stuff.
Hefty.
It was just mad. We got to make a Ryan Mad Lib and just like we can fill it out every week.
Oh, that's yucky. I don't like that.
So yucky.
I think though with that, kind of to your point though that it is better. Kind of I think we've spoken about this like just to start. And again, like this is a perfect example of not waiting until New Year's to start and just starting because
And
you have
we're
a week or two.
We're using January 1st as the New Year's as
totally,
the date
totally. I just mean in
because
general.
it's Christmas and there's bad food to be had
Eating and drinking.
and cookies and drinking to do.
Exactly. I got cookies and it's jury duty.
Yeah.
I got cookies and drinking to do.
I mean, last week I did decide. I promised myself that I'd run 2 miles a week. And I started that last week. And me and Ed got like 6.5 miles out of the way walking the mall. But
Mall
but yeah,
walking.
that was and now it's the next week. We have to do that again, I guess.
We're going to start with a run right after we record.
Yes. If you guys
Well,
don't
I'm
know,
busy,
we do work
but
out
you guys
after.
can do that.
That's fine.
I think too. You know what, guys? I think it's about time that I use my other account, LOL Discord account, and I'll put what I'm going to do for New Year's in the Discord. So I'll be in the Discord for a second.
You just post like a big gallon of just eggnog. That's what I'm doing.
We really want to keep it
This
more
is mine.
active. The thing about Discord is like we can post a lot more videos, but like if other people want to post videos, they need to like pay for Nitro. I didn't realize that was how it worked.
Yeah.
You know.
You can't
But-
upload videos
And
without
pass my
getting
vibe
Nitro.
check as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also have to pass my vibe check.
Pass through the Ryan filter.
the Ryan vibe check.
Yeah. So it's an imperfect thing, but we will keep building and improving.
Realizing the imperfection is going to be there and just kind of allowing room for that, I think, allows for more room for actually being successful. Because the minute you stub your toe and you're like, well, I'm a failure. And it's like,
You could
God
spend-
damn it. Like, don't say that.
You really could spend forever planning. Like
No, you really...
You can stay in those beginning stages for as long as you want. That can be an unending process, but like the minute you decide to start is when it all happens.
And there's something to... Oh, did you finish your point? I'm sorry.
I mean, I was gonna say it sounds redundant to say that the minute you start is when it all happens, but it's just that's the way it is. Because, like I said, I know plenty of people that stay on the drawing board and just live there and don't ever, they'll put pen to paper, but they won't put shoes to asphalt, and they won't get their ass going. And that's a really easy place to get trapped, get stuck on the fly paper there.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that.
There's this really great I don't know if I'm sure you guys have have heard of him, but the teacher and neuroscientist Andrew Huberman.
Yeah.
Andrew Huberman. Have you heard of Andrew? He's really, really great. He's been on kind of the whole Joe Rogan, Lex Friedman podcast circuit.
I've seen his face.
But he's I think he's a professor of neurology and ophthalmology at Stanford, I think. But he has a whole podcast basically like he'll do like an hour and a half on like the medical research of meditation. Be like, hey, why is it important? Why should we do it? What are the studies on it? Let's talk about it. And like shit. But he does that with like hormones, with sleep, with exercise, with muscle gain, with endurance, with nutrition. But he speaks a lot about like dopamine and those kind of reception circuits in the brain.
Dopaminergic.
Dopaminergic.
It's a word that sounds like you're hammered.
Yeah.
Dopaminergic.
Dopaminergic. You just say it while you're in a bush. Dopaminergic. You're like, what was that?
What are you doing on this sidewalk? This is dopaminergic.
Dopaminergic.
Walk in a straight line for me, please.
Sir, you were asleep in a urinal.
I'm gonna need you to put your hands behind your back.
Like, how did you get in there? Like it's just like you're like it's like the top of you is still standing, but like you're just bent over in a urinal. You're just sleeping like a horse. Here's this drunk show pony at like it's flushing. You're just
Sleeping and shitting like a horse, just standing up with a blanket on.
Or you're just sitting, shitting in
a
the
drunk
urinal.
show pony in like a TGI Fridays bathroom. Just getting like pink eye in one eye.
I'm just picturing opening the door and just seeing a full ass pony in the bathroom, just standing there.
His eyes actually just.
Close the door.
Yeah. That was pretty good, John.
Thank you.
Just takes big shit on floor.
Just while standing, you see his tail like twitch a little bit. Just dropping shit.
Take the hippo. Just flicking shit everywhere.
Just what I remember as a little kid, like, getting taken to a birthday party as a little kid and getting put on those things where, like, all the horses just walk.
Yeah.
And then the horse in front of you just shitting.
Yeah,
And just being like, this just,
come
everything
on, honey,
smells.
you smell bad. And you're just like, I want to go home. I want to play video games.
The moment comes,
just shitting.
the moment comes where you just cannot differentiate piles of shit with mud. You're like, the mud is shit.
Yeah,
everything
it's
is
all
shit.
welcome to the medieval times. What's animal shit, human shit, or the street? It's like it's all of it. They actually make the street out of that.
Is that a piss puddle or is that bile? Because it might be both. It's like water is no longer an option. It's 100% bodily fluids.
Is this a plague victim or a plague victim? What is that?
This come out of the attic or the
Got
basement.
4 teeth left and you've never bathed, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I always just love that meme that or that tweet that someone just wrote. They're just like, man, medieval sex must have been horrible.
It smelled horrible, yeah.
Yeah, it must have. Like, think about that. You don't shower for 3 days, and it's like you're fucking.
Dude, you have like a
It's
yearly
like
shower.
it just smells like cat food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just like
Just smells like cat mouth.
yeah, no. Yolk.
Just eating.
God, if you don't have cats, it's the best sound to wake up to at 2:30 in the morning. Just like.
It's the quickest way out of bed is to have just a cat puking up a hairball.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. You wait. Just...
Yeah.
And then you're just moving. You're just like moving the cat, or how is it like accordioning? You just throw it out of your room. It's like a Mossberg. You're just like, it's just pumping. It's loading. You're just like, yeah. You literally, you gotta yeet it because then it throws up all over your room, and you're like.
Just
Dude,
midair.
literally the morning. Then I'll get back to Andrew Huberin. The morning of Christmas, we literally we were opening presents, and I just and I on the tree skirt we just saw Geppetto doing this, and we were like, he definitely peed, and he just pissed all over the tree skirt on Christmas morning. And dude, he's like a 20-pound cat, so he
I love Geppetto.
So he lets out at least like 12 to 16 ounces of piss,
A full pint glass.
like a full like a full beer comes out of it. Like just the tail, just
The tail's the tap.
just a full cat beer comes out of that fucking.
Like you finish pouring your farts, like
just a full Guinness comes out of him.
Oh,
it was a little
frothy.
dark. He may have a UTI, so we got to get that checked out.
frothy cat piss.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It was a little dark. So anyway, so Andrew Huberman talks about how like what you were talking about, how you can always be planning, and he says like a lot of the dopamine release and kind of the reward systems get like. They fire when you talk about goals and you talk about stuff to people, and sometimes people get caught up just doing that because in your brain it's like very similar to doing it, like the same stuff gets released basically. So it's being cognizant of that and not getting caught up in the planning because it does feel good. It does feel good to talk about stuff because then it does. You're doing like success VR. You're like, oh, I kind of did it in my head a little bit. When you're like talking to someone about it over eggs.
Success VR.
Success VR.
I love it. I love it.
Too many people live there for a long time, and it gets sad.
And it is sad.
It is sad.
It's a sad thing to think about, because we've all met those people. We've all interacted, and we've all done it ourselves.
I'm
one of them too.
And
oh my God!
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
We've all walked that path. We've all done
I've written
that. We know
like
people
6
that do that.
novels in my mind.
What I have,
I'm a very accomplished novelist in my imagination.
what I have read of Ed's writing is actually quite good. I've read some of Ed's writing before, and it's actually very good.
Only problem is there's no spots to color, so I'm just.
Yeah.
None of the pictures
kind of
come out of the book.
Yeah,
for John.
There's no pictures, and I can't color, so the book's not for me. Yeah. Sorry, Ed.
You can color if you want to.
A coloring book is only structurally a book.
But I need the lines. I need to color in. I want
John
to make
needs
the
a lot of
giraffe,
help. John needs like bowling bumpers, but in real life.
Yeah.
John needs real life bowling bumpers. He's just walking around. He's just.
Oh, I'm a hazard.
How are you a television professional?
Bro, I have no idea. These people pay me. I'm like,
John's
thank you.
just been skating through like Ferris Buellering it, like the whole, like his entire career.
Oh, dude, I have no idea how I make it. It's great though.
But also, from what I understand, John is also incredibly accomplished and a very highly sought after tech in his industry. So
It's their mistake,
Yep.
Yeah,
They're shit out of luck.
We fooled him again, boys. Every day after work, we fooled him again.
We got to be the great lie, yes.
So
wait, that deserves a reset. One more time, up top. Oh, reverse. That was awesome. Leaving you out of that one.
So with the passing of time, I find myself being someone, and I've spoken to my therapist about this a bunch. It's again, especially being in like my later 20s, it's just been thinking like that period for me has been a lot more of thinking about the passage of time, but in a way, a level of rumination that isn't healthy, basically, because passage of time and realizing it can and should be used as a tool to help increase appreciation and increase in the moment feeling and being. But then that'll get taken to, being like noticing the impermanence of things is nice, but then like that gets taken to an extreme. I'm at Christmas dinner and I'm like, everyone around me is going to pass away soon.
Oh yeah.
And then I can't enjoy anything while I'm there. I'm like, could you pass the sweet potatoes? And they're like, why are you crying? I'm like, I don't know, because you're gonna die soon. So it's like, so that is where it gets taken into like an anxiety, fight or flight, excess mode, where you're not actually getting the utility out of it. Now it becomes more of a complex as opposed to a tool that you can use to actually better appreciate what you have and kind of more of that kind of that stoic understanding of negative realization in a way. But
it's all about balance.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, it really is all about balance. Like I think about that a lot. Like there's it's interesting because I have a different outlook about certain things with certain family members. family members. But it's about balance. You have to think about the fact that people are going to pass one day. You have to keep that in the back of your mind because it is important to spend time. It is important to make sure that you're making memories with the people that you love and the people that you care about, and you're putting them first. But at the same time, you can't live your life in fear of that and spend every waking moment just sitting around together so you don't miss anything. Like, there's things to be done. And there's nests to leave. Like you have to strike out on your own into the world. And part of that, it's a solitary journey. So even though there's people around you, you can't live your life in fear of their eventual passing. And then, kind of castrate yourself from certain experiences, like prevent yourself from being able to do things because you're so afraid of, in a way, being selfish, when there has to be a balance. Like, you have to be a little selfish sometimes. You have to worry about yourself and your goals, that at the same time be mature and responsible enough to find that balance point to make the time for your family. Like, there's a lot of things like Matt had put in the Discord, like who has a Christmas training ritual, and that he gets up and goes and trains at the tennis court on Christmas morning. And I'm like, that's a beautiful thing. But, like, my mother. She'd be very upset if I spent the whole day,
you basically wake up with, like, Italian meat in your mouth.
Yeah.
That sounded sexual, but that's not what I mean.
Gabagool,
so does my wife.
Gabagool, mozzarella.
Oh! Whoa.
Just kidding.
Oh.
I hope after a shower, because then it's just like a wet hot dog right out of the package. Just like with a little goop on it. The refrigerator goop,
little hot dog goop,
ballpark goop.
Oh gosh, bottom of the hotel pan. Just
why is it in a hotel?
Well, that's what they call those aluminum pans and trays. So hotel pans. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Like catering, catering pans.
Yep, they're called hotel pans.
They're called hotel pans. I didn't know that. Those little cups are called ramekins.
Yeah.
The little white little white cups, right?
Ram-damn-chamikin.
Nope, we're not. We are not.
Back in the Vatican.
Nope.
Crystalia. No, but as far as the passage of time goes. And I was thinking about this recently too, and this is one thing with this podcast. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm looking in a mirror when you guys tell stories, like sitting at dinner and just worrying about the inevitable. And
that's good, because we're trying to make you feel bad.
Yeah, we're doing a good job, I think.
It's just like, this is what's wrong with you, asshole. No,
you looked away before I could get a pound, so I'm just gonna take one from you. I don't like you
capturing a pound. But as far as that goes. Yeah, it's not right to kind of get paralyzed by that fear, because then you're just letting the moment pass by without enjoying it. You're being absolutely hobbled by that thought, which it's inappropriate to think about that because it's not happening. There's no point in getting frustrated over something that may be inevitable and maybe inescapable as far as the passage of time goes, but it's not right. It's not relevant in that moment, and people are. Another fear is, nobody wants to die alone. Nobody wants to be alone. But you're the only one who's occupying your own body. You're the only one who's there at the end of the day, no matter where you are. And just fear of the inevitable and fear of the unexpected is a great way to just remove your joy from any one moment that you might be in, especially holidays.
Yeah, I think it's important to actually, kind of physically check in with yourself, of like making yourself more present. Even like I'll say even sometimes with like anxiety, like like stimulate yourself physically, like touch something. Like if I'm driving sometimes and I get anxiety, I'll like touch my steering wheel, or I'll like, touch my pants, just to like we're cool, like we're here, like where I'm physically here, like I'm not up here, like I'm here. You know what I mean?
Kind of like focusing on like the feeling of that, kind of like almost like a little meditation.
Get yourself out of that
just like a little like
bringing yourself into the present moment.
Exactly. Yeah, like kind of pulling myself back in. But yeah, to your point, John, it is something of trying to not hobble yourself with it and not thinking about it in excess, because then the tool becomes a cage. Right. That's really what it is.
I was wondering about like who thought of that the first time. It's like, you're having anxiety, scratch your pants. Can you scratch your pants? Does that work?
I'm running out of pants.
It's like, I can't believe
that's how shreds of pants.
That's how
the person's just like, I feel a lot better. His therapist is like, I can't believe that worked.
That was just a joke. That was a gag.
That was a goof.
Created the first pair of ripped jeans. You actually look great.
You look great in that. I like seeing 20% more of your thigh.
It's a good look, high fashion, old name.
And so ensued the 90s.
Yeah.
With that though, kind of a good point that, and again, I find so many times that like, important points and thoughts a lot of the times are stuff that like are simple enough in the point where we hear them, and you're like, oh, well, yeah. But then, like, you hear it, you're like, oh, yeah, but I didn't think about it like that. You know what I mean? Like I was talking to my therapist, Dave, and I was talking to him. I was literally talking about this last Friday, and he was saying, and he was like, listen, he's like, well, you can't control the passage of time, but you can control your choices, which they almost seem parallel. Like, they don't seem like they cross in the sense of, well, you're like, oh, well, that's not time. It's like, yeah, because you physically can't control the passage of time, but you can, you're kind of in that like current, it's just pulling you along. You're just but you can control your choices within that. So it's not just choosing like, oh, I'm gonna wear red socks today instead of green ones, but that doesn't help because you're like, oh, my mom's still gonna die at some point, so the socks don't matter. But it's more of like making the choice to, again, spend time with them, but then also on the other hand, making the choice to get your own shit done and not be hobbled by thoughts of things that are going to happen hopefully 30, 40, 50 years from now. So so knowing what you do and don't have control over can help you actually act on the things you do have control over. Because if you're not aware of where your hands are in the car and, like, what, if you don't know that your hands are actually on the steering wheel, how are you going to turn the fucking car? Like, you're just like, you need to know how this stuff works. If you're just like, yeah. So I think knowing what you have control over allows you to actually impart action and energy into what you can control, instead of just kind of being very suspended in kind of this
like a stasis,
like limbo. Where you're just in like a bantha tank, a Star Wars bantha tank of just like anxiety.
It's Bacta.
Is it Bacta? I thought it was Bantha.
Bacta.
I thought it was Bantha.
Bantha is the
the
creature.
Bantha's the things from Tatooine, right?
Yeah, the big furry fellas.
Big, like the big, like buffalo looking thing.
Yeah, like the woolly mammoth without the trunk.
Like Bantha
big
fodder.
curly horns,
Yeah.
like this.
Fuck.
Stormtroopers rode them. I like a Star Wars.
I like it. Star Wars.
Remember Star Wars?
Never my scene, and I don't like Star Wars.
But yeah, I think that was
all
good.
It is Queen
for you, everybody. But what it makes me think of is that it's actually a quote from Sigong to respond instead of react. It's one thing he says to me all the time. Like,
that's awesome, actually.
About fighting, that you want to respond. You don't want, like, a response is calculated. You know what I mean? Like a response is something you thought about before you did it. A reaction is just a blind reaction. Reaction requires no thought process whatsoever, and it's this is the thing where people talk about, like, why do you train so much? What do you do? It's like, it's for the mental strength and the mental clarity to be able to process and rationalize these things. Right. It's a practice. Fighting is a practice of being in the moment, because as soon as you're not in the moment when you're fighting, that's when you're just terrified. You can't think of what to do next, And that's when you get killed.
All of a sudden you get schmecked.
You get schmecked?
You get schmecked. Smish everybody.
I smish you.
I smish you.
You and your girl. I smish them.
But it's an exercise for being in the present moment. Really, and if you can take that and translate it out, you can kind of alleviate a little bit of that anxiety. And if you're a person like us who has like anxiety issues, chronic anxiety or potentially an anxiety disorder, whether it's something that you need to be medicated for, or something that's situationally based that you could help with therapy and practice alone, it's one of those things where you have to learn, like you said, like with the squish, with the pants scratching trick. But you need to find what's going to work for you to bring you back into that present moment and kind of help appreciate the times that you have. It's like that same thing we've talked about before, about like when you're trying to wake up earlier and you get up and you're like, wow, it's too fucking late to do what I wanted to do. So what can I do? It's like, go for a walk. Yeah, take 10 minutes and go for a walk.
I feel like that really ties in well to the talk we had about comfort zones earlier too. How a comfort zone is unwilling or unwillful rest or whatever.
Willing, willing versus unwilling. Was it willing versus unwilling suffering?
That's
willful
right.
Suffering.
Comfort zone is avoidance / unwillful rest, as opposed to intentional rest. And
I think we have a if you want to pull up that article about that kind of. And I think this is very poignant, kind of going into what kind of you guys were saying with kind of your New Year's plan, and also just kind of leading this back into speaking directly to the practice of martial arts, and kind of just comfort zones and reevaluating and kind of almost like with like a human VR existential headset where you're realizing kind of the borders of where you can go and where you touch and where's hot and cold. You're like, oop, that makes me uncomfortable, and it's like, all right, well, why? Like, let's explore. And how many people don't explore even? Because not even to like, I'm gonna be a Navy SEAL, fucking David Goggins. I'm gonna
There is something to be said about his mentality, though, of like,
oh, no.
Why are you out here running? It's like, because you're not, motherfucker.
No, absolutely. And I don't, and that's, I don't mean it like that. I just mean like that's one end of the spectrum. But there's so many people that don't even explore to know where the boundaries are, and they just they stay right here in their my little sedan. I'm just gonna be annoyed at people for reasons that I don't realize because I've never talked to anyone about anything, and I'm just gonna, and it's like.
And that applies to
you just have yourself in a headlock for like your whole life.
Before we read this, though, can we look for an author? Can we see who the author is? Is it listed?
I think it's probably it may be at the bottom.
Yeah, we're usually at the bottom.
By Adaptive Coach Eric.
By Adaptive Coach Eric, and this is from adaptivecoach.com.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. Eric with a K.
Yeah, so this is a passage from adaptivecoach.com, written by Adaptive Coach Eric, with a K. So thanks, Eric, for this. And I felt like this related to our topic Ryan and I were speaking about earlier, and Ed as well, of course. There are three of us here. Nice. Says, it starts out, you might be familiar with the saying, you need to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. The concept behind this is that for growth or improvement to occur, one must be willing to go outside of their comfort zone. An analogy to illustrate this would be how most feel when that alarm goes off first thing in the morning. The bed or comfort zone is a rather enticing option, and a much easier choice would be go back to sleep over getting out of bed and beginning daily tasks. And that's like Ryan, I forget that the one metaphor it was willful or unwillful rest. It was unwillful rest.
Well, yeah, basically, and this is something that we've spoken about before, like intentional or unintentional rest. And like, so I feel like there is, on the one end of the spectrum, there's willful suffering, which again is kind of like doing a task that you don't want to do, or even again, like training martial arts or training kung fu of like, I'm going to go to class and I'm going to pay these people a monthly bill for them to beat the shit out of me. But it's like, but it's like also a lot of you beating the shit out of yourself. It's like, it's your time, it's your, it's battling yourself every day that you're doing it. But then on the other end of that, then there is willful and kind of almost like unwillful rest, where it's like intentional rest is like, I've earned it and I'm going to take these 4 hours in and just like for this day, and the first half of the day is mine, as opposed to like, well, I mean, I know I got to get something done, but like, I'm just going to like not do it. You know what I mean?
But like, and the other side of the pillow is still cool.
Exactly.
Baby.
Exactly. And then it almost becomes like a pit you fall in, where you just kind of, as opposed to like, you like setting up a lawn chair and you're like, I'm going to sit here. Got
a pygmy in my eye or something like.
You've got a whole person in your eyeball.
There's a whole little person in his eye.
Hey, can you get me out of here?
He's just scratching your retina.
Hey, it's Steve from Brooklyn.
It's Steve the pygmy.
Sorry, you're like making a point. I'm over here like, just like couldn't stop it. I'm sorry. Yeah. Continue. I'm sorry.
But again, kind of that comfort zone being that area of almost like unwillful rest, where it's just you kind of almost like it's almost like a reaction of rest, as opposed to willfully responding to what's happening to your schedule, being like, I'm gonna rest now, and you can enjoy it because it's intentional. So I think it's just with most things in life, trying to be as intentional as you can with most things, as much as you can.
I think the point that I really want to drive home about stuff like this is like it's there's so much content out there, and I don't want this to be just another one of those like grind set things where it sounds so much easier than it is. It's one of those things that really it's so easy to talk about, like, step outside your comfort zone. Here's how we're gonna push ourselves.
Just do a 5K on Christmas morning.
Yeah, 1% better every day. It's so like it can really be emotionally and spiritually, mentally taxing. Like it can really hurt. It can really be painful to step outside those comfort zones. It's like I made a joke when I got in here. I was like, it's so interesting being a human being because, some days you wake up and you're just a warrior all through the day, and other days you wake up and you're like, why are there doors?
Yeah.
The handle is cold and it's heavy and I can't get inside fast enough and it's windy out.
I gotta find other socks.
Where's my good socks? How come I always gotta do laundry?
I gotta buy more body wash.
You know, like it's.
Yeah.
But I want the bread. You know, like I don't want to
Ooh,
go on a diet. I want
that's
the
a big
bread.
one. I
Carbs.
want the bread.
You know, like
Carbs are my buddy.
the amount of times
but-
that I'm like, I'll make a salad, and I'm like, yeah, but like I could get like I could get 2 sandwiches from Panera.
I'm literally
Instead-
ordering a salad last night, and Jenny's like, "Do you
I get a
also want a
fucking bread bowl.
cheeseburger?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." But
Your main salad just became your side salad. When your meal becomes the side.
yeah, it's bad. But it, you know, and there's people I know that are close to in my life that like just the idea of dietary change coupled with the stress of their regular life and how they handle it, you know, like that is their solace. That, you know, like whatever junk food, or not even junk food, even if it's like high quality stuff, but like just calorically dense or not necessarily healthy for you, like that's such a point of comfort that alleviates the depression for a moment. You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's not healthy, but that's where the addiction comes from. You know, we're little addiction machines. You know, like
This is
we
true.
are fucking addiction machines. We're addicted to dopamine, to alcohol, to nicotine, to caffeine, to serotonin, to our cell phones for the dopamine, to TV, to pornography, to motivational content for the dopamine hits. Again, you know, like
Can we talk about someone other than me? Could you name
Yeah.
something else, please?
yeah, like, but
All
it's
those
like
12 things
you know,
are me.
you know, like you know how many times you lay in bed for 15 hours just like.
Yeah. You just
And everything is like, you gotta get up and get going. You gotta make moves. You gotta do things and grind. And you're like, yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And you keep swiping, and
You're like, that's what tomorrow is for.
You gotta train every day if you want to be good at everything. You gotta practice every day. And like, yep, I agree with that. Like, wholeheartedly, comment, awesome brother, fire, prayer emoji, dude. You know, it's like.
rise and grind. You're like,
Yeah,
lay
and
and
then-
decompose.
And the next thing you know, it's like, oof, it's 4 p.m. I gotta get up, and you haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Making breakfast at 4 p.m. is not a good feeling. You're like,
we've
time
all
to
been
have
there.
my dinner eggs because I just got
I
up.
work so much, I haven't had days like that either. But you know, and for me, it's more so like at night. Like I can't play video games every night. I can't do that. I have shit to do. I have work to do. But it's like I want to, but you know you have to have the discipline enough to be like, okay, so like last night I didn't play anything. I like sat down and I worked on podcast stuff for a couple hours, and then I watched a show. And I should have went to bed, but I watched TV instead, and I still needed that time to decompress.
Yeah. It's hard to
So
not.
you know,
It's hard to not hold on to that. I forgot. I feel like I don't know if there was an actual term for it, or it's like a. It's like You try to win back, like you get pissed that you didn't get to do like free time during the day, so you like try to pull back, you like resurrect that time at night, and you're like, fuck it, I'm not going to fucking bed.
Yeah,
I know there's like a phrase for that.
dumb.
Yes, definitely a little dumb, and I'm the main dumb. I'm like Captain.
It's like
Oh, is it
it's like
Japanese?
rebellion. Yeah, revenge bedtime. Revenge bedtime.
Who are you
procrastination.
taking revenge on? Yourself, basically.
Is revenge bedtime procrastination, a phenomenon in which people who don't have much control over their daytime life refuse to
Yeah,
sleep
that's what it
early
is.
in order to regain some sense of freedom
Yep.
during
Huh.
late night hours.
God, that's me.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
me.
Wow.
That's fucking
I never
life.
knew about this. That's
Yep.
interesting.
Yeah,
That's
and
a
I
real
would just
thing.
want to let you guys know that the phrase I Google search was Japanese phrase nighttime rebellion.
All in
but
caps, of course.
What's the word? How do you say that?
Oi, oi, Where'd it go? That's it.
It's definitely-
the phonetic spelling just looks like ba fucking AOE.
But fucking AOE.
Why is this an Italian Japanese man?
Because I'm Italian.
By fucking AOE.
Yeah, but where's the
Oh.
pronunciation? The ye just means night, and the AO is really cool. But is there a way to hear how it's said?
Well, yeah. If you put that into Google Translate, or you put.
I'm gonna
either
do
of
it
the-
right now.
Search Google.
Yeah, retaliatory stay up late.
报复性熬夜，
John, you almost said it right.
Oh yeah.
报复性熬夜，
Baofu
Oh, it's
Xing
it's
Ao
Chinese.
Ye.
Oh, it's Chinese.
报复性熬夜。
There it is. Retaliatory stay up late.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There it is. Learned by a very relatable term today. Oh, excuse me. Learned
Yeah,
by-
no, that's. Yep. So that's a real thing.
That
So
means
if you
oh,
ever,
yeah.
so just know if you deal with that,
Oh, so it's Chinese.
so does
Bao
everyone
Fu
else,
Xing
and
Ao
so do
Ye.
we. So,
Yeah. Revenge
I gotta
bedtime
keep going with
procrastination.
my Mandarin lessons book. I gotta keep going with that.
Oh no. Oh, okay.
son of a bitch.
I was like, not the carpet. Not the carpet.
Not the carpet.
It's water.
I know.
I didn't even steal a liquid IV from you today.
I did.
Would you like one?
Yeah,
We're gonna need
I
them.
have 3 bags.
We're gonna
At
need
home.
them.
I need to take my own.
But yeah, so I think also with making choices. It's about prioritizing what's meaningful in your life, and if you don't have something meaningful, prioritizing time to seek that out. So again, like for us, like we spoke about last episode, was prioritizing like private lessons. Like you just started with private lessons as well with Qigong, and like
and
prioritizing that.
It's amazing how important that can be when your Sifu actually can take the time and like focus on your issues individually. Like there's just little things that'll help me improve greatly. I am, for the first time in my life, totally self-employed. I don't work for anybody else but me.
Oh, yes.
He works for me, but other than that.
Well, yeah,
We work for each other, okay.
I mean,
the fuck up, John.
I guess I kind of work for Qigong, helping teach classes, but like that's
yeah,
But that doesn't. I don't mean that. I mean like I get my business. I don't have a day job outside of.
You're making money from and for yourself entirely.
Right, exactly.
There we go.
So very exciting. Very exciting.
That is very exciting. Very proud of you.
Took me 6 years to get there. So never stop. And now that being said, 6 years to get there, 8.5 years to get my black sash. Not having competed too much and being in my early 30s. Having everybody tell you how 35 is when you slow down, 38 is when you slow down, and watching my teachers kick ass all the way up through his 40s and 50s. Us gearing up to look for Sandak competitions and gearing up. I think March is going to be too soon, but I think October would be, if we can save up now to make sure we have the money to go.
And also to see what's over.
If
there is anything over the summer too.
Yeah, well that too.
Since we're done testing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to sit down together and look for that.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, that being said, the concept here with the passage of time is that I often am complaining about how old I am and how late it is and how I wish I started earlier, because there's a big reason why I haven't competed too much yet, and that's been I've been overcoming lots of physical ailments between my knee and my back and my asthma and mental health things that have kept me from pushing as hard as I've wanted to push in the past. There's a lot that's gone on, and choosing school over that life for a little while there. I mean, like there's things I needed to accomplish, there's things I needed to overcome, and why are you competing if you're not your best? And it's hard, really, really hard for me to stay in that mindset of like, it's not too late because I'm still breathing.
Yeah.
So as we worry about the passage of time and as we approach, like we talked about the winter solstice in the last episode, the changing of the seasons, helping you kind of like keep log of the passage of time through your life. And as each year goes by and you get, a little older, you have to realize that, age is a number. It's not necessarily a 100% accurate dictatorship of where your physicality and mentality will be. My grandmother was sharp and with it up into her mid-80s, which is not what the colloquial norm would say. Our teachers have been badasses throughout their entire life and continue to be in their early 50s.
Yep.
There's lots of people out there that, with the advancements in medical science, are still killing it and relevant in their fields well into their 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And while, at that age you may need some medical intervention, we're blessed that we are in the age of society where those things are possible.
Yeah.
And we have a responsibility as people on the planet to use the passage of time to strike out on our own, to make the world a better place for our generation's children, whether we have them or not. It takes a village, and so whether you're a parent or not a parent, you still need to pave the way for those that are coming after you. We live in a really scary and divisive time where, I won't get too into it, but like there's a lot of Freedom of Information Act has released a lot of documents telling us about the truth of the way things in our society have worked for a long, long time.
FOIA rabbit holes are real.
There's a lot of financial information that we are aware of, and the way that the stock market works, and that's very terrifying if you really think about it. Where the money's really going, who's really in charge. So you can't turn on the TV and lock yourself into the outrage of the week and waste your time focused on things that are outside your control and arguing with people on the internet, or being a keyboard warrior, or spending your time, thumbing through Bullshido and just looking at like other people and laughing at other people and talking shit. I mean, like the Kame-hame-ha thing was funny. It's funny to see stuff like that. It's funny. It's funny to poke fun at that, but I don't spend a majority of my time doing that. Like it's good to have the yucks are good every now and then. You gotta laugh. You can tease a little bit. It's part of, especially, it's a male bonding ritual, especially the two of us, to just be absolute pieces of shit to each other.
Usually just pieces of shit.
But you can't, in the grand scheme of things, lose yourself in things like that. You need to stay focused, and you need to continually remind yourself that, like, if a day goes by and you didn't accomplish what you wanted to accomplish, like, it's fine.
Right.
Like, there's always tomorrow. But that being said, the passage of time is not something to fear. It's something to appreciate.
Yeah, and again, it's all same passage of time, both in general of people around you and things changing, also with your own age. Age is just a number, but that number is more importantly a feeling, and that feeling is based off your perspective.
Right, and the duality of that is that time is passing.
Right.
So all those things that are giving you anxiety and that you're afraid of, it's true.
Yeah, it's real.
Your parents are going to die. You're going to die one day. Your animals, everyone that you know is going to die one day.
Most importantly, also, you are going to die.
Right. I did say that.
Oh, you did? Oh, well.
But weren't listening. No, but
oh god,
I was
ready.
The lights are a lot hotter. Oh no.
Yeah.
Anyone else sweating?
But
at
least I think I said that. Well, I don't know. It's on video. We'll find out.
We'll
whether I
see
did or not.
shortly.
Back to the evidence.
But point being, I digress. Point being is that there is that concept of like, you got to get moving because time's not waiting for you. But at the same time, if you live your life of anxiety of the time that has already passed, you're not living in the present moment. And therefore, you're not going to be as efficient into carving your future into what you want it to be.
Because it all comes from the present.
Right.
So because it's not just about like, because what does living in the past or living in the present actually means from like a utility standpoint? It's you're not allowing all the energy you have to actually actualize stuff be in the present moment to actually create anything, because it's 30% of it's in the present, 30% of it's in the past, 30% or 33.3% is in all three. So you're putting emotional energy and mental RAM towards things that you can't fix, you can't change, and then because of that, again, that's kind of where the reality of the self-fulfilling prophecy happens. Of you worry about stuff happening in the future, and one of the reasons that sometimes it does happen is because you're not outputting enough energy and time and attention into the present of making those things not happen or making them happen the way you want. So, and I just think, as a quick aside thing, just literally as we were about to start, I was watching listening to a part of a Jordan Peterson video. But the important thing with comfort zones, and this is something that I actually have taken to the point of tattooing it on my body, is the idea of the things you want most are in the places you least want to look. Those are, so there's and the quote that I actually have tattooed up here is in sterquilinius invenitur, which means in filth it will be found. So in the darkest, grossest parts of yourself are usually are where the answers you are looking for lie. Usually, it's like the whole thing of like the dragon that's hoarding all the gold. It's like you have to go down there to get,
Considering it's tattooed on you, you think you'd learn the lesson,
Wow, that hurt a little bit.
On
this trap, it just says, "I'm a piece of shit." Also in Latin, for the ladies.
Ed says, "I'm a piece of
Ed
shit."
says, "I'm a piece of shit."
Right on my lower rib, it just says lasagna.
But also in Latin, which is just lasagna. It's
Right there. It's the ingredients, and also that's what I'm made of. Lasagna, baby.
I have 0 tattoos. I have
Lasagna
better
fighter.
ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Like Little Caesar's hot and ready. Is it good? It's hot and it's ready.
On each ass cheek, pizza. When you're here, butthole, your family.
So you gotta.
Your family. God damn it.
Ooh. Stinky jokes.
Stinky family. Your family's stinky.
Why your family so
it just says like when you're here as a tramp step and you open the cheeks on either side, it says you're a family.
Oh god.
That's a different type of filth you're finding, actually. If you're...
But it is found.
It's found, though.
This is Yo Quiero Taco Bell on your taint.
No. Please, no.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Oh, man.
So, yeah.
Oh, I'm upset with myself.
Yeah, I'm upset. I'm genuinely upset with you, too.
I've totally lost track of time. I'm not even sure. if
But-
that was a good
But
time.
yeah, so now that we got all the asshole tattoos out of the way, this could be a good place to probably end.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just
We can't end on this.
no, that's what I'm saying.
That's
not
a
not
great
that.
joke.
It
That's
is
a great joke.
But
It's a high
yeah,
point.
just chewing on the idea of the things you want most in life are probably in the places you least want to look, and a lot of people don't even know the places
Our
that they.
sense of humor.
And
You guys, you need to be medicated, right?
Just living in the filth.
If you don't
Living
go
in
to. If you don't go to the doctor, they can't tell you you're sick. So,
But everyone around you will have a hint. Like, what's wrong with
he
Ryan?
is unwell. Unwell is almost worse than sick.
No,
that
it's-
boy ain't right.
You know, it's amazing that we all. Well, I may have met you at Kung Fu, but it's even amazing that you ended up here because, as far as the passage of time is considered, I met Ryan when he was 17 years old. I met John when he was 14.
But the wee lad.
But a wee lad, 14 or 15, something like that.
About, I think 14.
But
It's
you
about
know,
that.
so 15, 16 years I've known you.
Yeah.
11, 12 years I've known you. 11 years, 10, 11 years.
10, 11 years, yeah. Yep.
So it's like, it's fucking wild to think
It's
about.
crazy.
You know, I wish I started younger, but like at the same time, I started at 21. That's pretty young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty young.
It is pretty young.
And I was just sick. You know, I don't have. So it's hard for me to remember that. Like I've come so far, and I ruined the microphone. I've come so far, and I don't appreciate the place where I'm coming from anymore.
Mm.
You know,
Well, that's the
like-
problem is you put the blinders on. You don't actually you don't keep the perspective. You don't
Right.
you don't have that top down view of everything. You're just like you're looking at the problems in front of you, and that's sometimes the issue with.
I just hope somebody listening can relate to that. You
Oh,
know
of
what I
course.
mean? Yeah.
But it's again kind of with that unwillful, not responding but reacting. Similar thing of. You just reacting to what's in front of you is like, oh, you talk about like, oh, she didn't open the fucking door for me, or you're fucking in traffic, or this, that, and the third,
Yeah.
and you're just reacting. You're not actually, you're not in control. You're
It's
not
not
actually,
conscientious.
yeah.
It's funny because sometimes when I on the podcast and I talk about things like in my relationship that I'm processing and like trying to be a better husband, a
This
future
is like
husband.
therapy for us too.
Yeah. And I think about those things and I talk about it on the podcast, and then I'm like, I test listen to all the podcasts to make sure like all the audio is good, make sure all the even though I fuck
You're like,
up
if I
sometimes
was
and
Jenny,
post
would I be
anyway.
upset by this?
Well, it's funny because she'll be in the living room and she'll listen to it. She'll be like, "You realize that? Good."
Good.
Good.
You dickhead.
Buys me video games for Christmas, and then I message her and I go, John and my fiance were in on a big gift, and they got me a Steam Deck for Christmas, and I'm like, super. We're all gonna have them. John got one for Ryan.
John bought
too.
one for me. So
Yeah,
now
which is insanity. And
blowjob is
he's
in
got
order.
like the Cadillac of Steam Decks, so we're all gonna be playing together on Steam. And I message Jenny, I'm like, don't be mad at me when I'm up all night playing games, and she goes, as long as you clean up.
That's
that dude,
perfect.
that's fair.
Yeah,
think
That's
that's
pretty
fair.
fair.
because I do be leaving socks in the living room.
Ooh.
Though, you know,
It do be like that
I do be
sometimes.
leaving,
Do be leaving them
stink-
feet sleeves
stinky
around.
socks and sweatpants on the living room
know what I'm
floor, though.
Those
you
stinky
know?
foot.
Those dog hats. You know what I'm saying, baby? Get those dogs out.
I come
baby.
home the other day.
Your dog's a
I
barking.
come home the other day, and we were out, so I was in like a nice shirt and jeans. And I get home, and she's like, "Are you gonna go change?" I go, "No, I just take my clothes off and lay on the couch." And she goes, "Is this why I find shit all over the living room? Is this what you do at the end of the day?" Because like sometimes we'll get home from class, and she'll have work like sometimes she needs to be there at 7, and we don't get home from the school until like 10:30, and still need to like eat a little something and go to bed. So it's like you eat, you digest it. It's 11:30, 12 o'clock now. She's got to be up in 6 hours, and she's like gone. And I'm like, I got to be up in like 7 or 8 hours, and I'm like, I can spend another hour playing something or reading something or watching something. And I'll still be in my clothes because like we just ate, and she'll leave, and then she'll be like, "How come all your shit's all over the living room?" Because she doesn't realize that like that's what I do. Just poof, it's my house. Fuck it, I'm in my undies. I'm playing video games.
Just like a leap in midair, all of a sudden you're naked and then on the couch.
I definitely Bruce Almighty out of my clothes in the living room. Just yeah.
You just Luigi jump, just
Yeah.
like out of your clothes. Wow! Just Luigi jump to being naked.
Yeah, but I don't know what the fuck the point of that was. It was just a funny aside.
It was silly.
But, you know, like, time is going to pass, and you have to make the most of the time that you have. Be in the present moment as much as you possibly can be, and try not to beat yourself up for the mistakes that you made that you can't go back and change.
And know yourself and use the time to try to actually prioritize and change the things that you know about yourself that you don't like or that you want to improve on. And again, those are usually you'll find that the things that are fucking you up again are the areas that you either don't want to look in or you don't even know that you don't want to look in. Because those are sometimes the scariest things, where you discover something about yourself that you didn't even know that you're afraid of and then that's where the answers are a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
indeed. Well, gentlemen, It's been a great episode.
But I also wanted to say that you need to also remind yourself, there's another aside, remind yourself that stepping out of your comfort zone is going to be emotionally, physically, and mentally taxing. There's going to be times where you're frustrated, and it's not little emotions. Sometimes it's on a wide range, and other times you can find yourself really falling into a hole, pushing yourself through these things. But that's why not everybody can make it. That's why ordinary people don't get black sashes. You know what I mean? Like, that's why, not everybody is going to be, not everybody's going to make it to the summit. Not everybody will get there. But if you can remember and push yourself through those times when things are hard and use some of the tricks, that you've learned yourself over time, or hopefully you can relate to our stories and you can, and that will help you, or you'll use this as your sign that you need to go get therapy, as your sign that you need to start changing the content that you're looking at every day, as a sign that you need to just set your alarm half an hour earlier, whatever it may be, that's going to help you along your journey, that will get you 1% farther to being one of the people who do make it to the summit. Because even though not everybody gets there, lots of people do, and you can be one of them too.
All right. Well, thanks to our Instagram followers. Thank you to all of our listeners, of course. Thank you to our Discord members. And thank you to our patrons. And this has been the Martial Mind Podcast.
Click that link, like, subscribe, become a patron today, and help us do this full time. Thank you, everybody. Leaving me hanging.
fuck you, Ed.
Ah!